just hit the space bar or?
No, down arrow key.
Down arrow to get to the next one?
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you very much for being here. It might be one of the last talks. Hopefully we'll get through this and have some enjoyment about a successful Case alumnus. My name is Jeffrey Thrope, and I am a very proud graduate of the Case School of Engineering. And I want to thank you all for inviting me to the Case Alumni 125th anniversary. It's an honor to be here. And I have much to be thankful for as an alumnus of Case Western Reserve University and of Case Institute of Technology. My least favorite topic is to talk about me, but through entrepreneurism, I think I'm going to use myself as kind of that vehicle to express the excitement I have with regards to entrepreneurism. So, when I was a student at Case, I was thrilled to be here. It gave me opportunities to do research, to do so many things with regards to the activities associated with ultimately having a tremendous foundation for entrepreneurism. I probably spent more time volunteering and working in labs than I should have spent in the classroom, but it's really where I was actually learning as much as I possibly can. In fact, growing up in the New York City region, I never went home. I found out that people like yourself, Tom, would teach during the year, and then the winter breaks, and in the summer you would do your research, which I felt that's really the place to actually spend the time in, and that's where the action was. So I really never went home, and I absorbed myself, and I loved being here those years leading up to graduating at the end in 1979. So I graduate, and I'm 25 years old, a couple of years out in the world, and I make a goal for myself. And I said, I said the following: when I'm 55 years old, in 30 years, it happens quickly, doesn't it? But I want to be independently wealthy. And the reason I wanted to be independently wealthy at that point was to say, I'd like to at that point have the opportunity to take any direction I'd like in life. Whether I wanted to stay at work doing what I was doing, or whether I would like to do volunteering and move on. But that's my goal. In fact, in meeting my wife Jan when I was 25 and getting married at 26, she remembers this. And I'm proud to say that I achieved that milestone 3 years early. Now, why am I telling you this? I share this because entrepreneurs have to be leaders. And you have to have concrete objectives and goals. You've got to clearly state what those goals are. They have to be bold, and you've got to go after them. And I totally agree with Tien in that failure will be part of the process. Absolutely. And it's how you respond to crises, how do you respond to setbacks, and the failures which ultimately are going to determine your degrees of success. And I relate this again, though, to my own education here, because I think as engineers we all realized going through those tough classes that you were not going to get it right away. Even the best of us, the brightest of us, were having difficulty getting through those early classes, and those learning experiences challenged us. Many of us knew in the freshman class that look around and you're not going to have everybody get through there. And so if you graduated from Case Western Reserve University in biomedical engineering or another engineering class, that was some tremendous experience. And that was a goal. And to this day, when I state my little elevator speech, I'm a biomedical engineer, graduated from Case Western Reserve University in 1979. That has a lot of panache. That's very exciting, and I'm very proud of that. Okay, so a little bit about my personal history. Again, I mentioned I grew up in the New York City region, and I came out to Case in 1976. At that time, most of my relatives had no idea whether Cleveland was east or west of Chicago, but they ultimately figured that out as soon as I would write them. Remember, not email them or fax them, write them at that time. Some of us, I think, were nodding in agreement and understanding that. And the exciting part for me was that if you had the motivation, you can do things that you really would not get the chance to do at other universities. Now, I'd gotten into Cornell, I'd gotten into Northwestern, and I said, Case is where I want to be. It's right across the street from the medical school. It was a place that were happening. I got to meet my mentors, who are still around here, Dr. Pat Crago and Dr. Hunter Peckham. At that time, believe it or not, they were in their 30s, research associates. And we were able to do things. And I worked as a research associate during the time I was going to school here. And actually, I put up here the fact that my work was good enough that in 1980, my first publication came out in IEEE. And where in the world do you get those experiences being an undergraduate to ultimately contribute to a really terrific academic publication? And it was just the best times of my life going to Case. So I get out of school and I'm offered a job at Picker in imaging. We heard Hero's great talk about that. And I decide to turn it down. Now, at that time, I think they were offering something like $18,000 a year. And if you remember, that was a lot of money back then. And I decided, no, I'm not going to take that. I'm going to take a research position through academia, and I'm going to work at Metro Health Medical Center for a lot less money. Because my motivations for biomedical engineering is I really wanted to go out and help people. I wanted to solve the problems of individuals who had conditions, injuries, diseases, and take that engineering, solving problem mentality and that core foundation I had from Case and apply it in some particular way. So I give up all the big bucks going to industry and I go into academia. All right, so I do that, and along the way, I'm doing core research and applying my engineering skill, and probably for most of us this happened. I start to kind of advance, and I say, geez, the action is behind those closed doors, not where the engineers are doing the work, but where the managers are. So ultimately, that's kind of where I started moving towards, is the management. And started learning a lot about ORs and hospitals and different things of that nature and how they're run. Now, at the age of 38, a venture-backed firm called Neural Control was formed, and they asked me to be the first employee. I said, it's now or never. 38 years old, I've worked in academia, and it's great, but I really want to be in business. Okay, so I jump over there, and over the next few weeks and months, a small band of team members and I accomplished feats that no one could ever imagine you could accomplish, bringing products into the marketplace. Now, in doing so, we were completely under-resourced, we were totally motivated, and therein lies the disease of entrepreneurism that continues to this day for me. Anytime you have too great a challenge and there are too little resources, that's where an entrepreneur says, wow, that's where I want to be. And so those team members and I would work like slaves, as most of the entrepreneurs today have talked to about, and it was just thrilling. And we brought products to market that were helping individuals who had paralysis restore function. No greater calling than you can possibly get. And it was very exciting. Okay, flip forward now. So I do that, and I start moving up, and I'm learning in this company now about, I was VP of sales for a while. I ultimately promoted to VP of new business development. It's been about 7 years. And I say, you know what? I literally want to jump off the edge here of the world, and I want to form my own company. I'm 46 years old. Okay, I've got 2 kids. I put the college fund together for them, so I think I was okay there. I had $130,000 in savings. My wife worked at a homeless shelter, and I'm telling her, for the first time in my life since I was 16 years old, I'm not going to have a paycheck. I took $100,000, and we put it into the start of that new company. Okay, and we basically, over those next 2 years of not getting a paycheck, kind of watched the little tiny savings we had dwindle and dwindle and dwindle. Never had a better time again. We're really motivated. Never went out to dinner. Shopped at Mark's a lot, but we really were, having a great time and building up our particular company.